might be familiar with our KM line of marine products. These are going to be a step up from the KM line of marine products. So we have the MSC, which is a coaxial marine speaker. It's got a large teeter-on dome tweeter that you guys can see here in the center. It's got increased power handling from the KM line of speakers. This will handle 100 watts RMS on the 6.5 inch and 200 watts RMS on the 8-inch speaker. Then what I've got here in my hand is going to be the MSS speaker, and this is actually a marine component set. So your mid-range is separate from your tweeter, and your tweeter mounts using this nifty little pod. Just kind of, it's interesting how these mount, but the tweeter's got a little gasket around the outside to prevent water intrusion from coming inside the pod. The pod itself, cut a little hole, push it in, and then you can screw it in place or run your wires through there however you want to do it. But really simple to mount. Just make sure you got the right size hole, push your tweeter in, and boom, you've got a water resistant tweeter. So if you guys have ever used our QSS series of speakers, these guys use the same material for the tweeters that the QSS do. They're
yes.
teeter-on dome, but they've been waterized, basically water resistant. So they sound very, very good. We did listening side by side at our KICKER U demonstration here in-house, and compared these with the KM speakers and the KM XL speakers. So why don't you tell them what you noticed, Aaron?
Oh my gosh. So when we do our KICKER U in-house training, we bring in dealers from around the country and sometimes around the world, just depending on what we're doing in that particular event. But we brought in most recently 26 of our best retail specialists from around the country. And one of the many things we do with them is we do a listening session in the lab, the listening lab, Steve Irby's listening lab. And we compare KM, which has been our bread and butter go-to marine speaker 8-inch for several years. And then next to that, we had the new I'm always saying it wrong, the MSC, the coax of the 8-inch. And then we had a third speaker, which is the KMXL. And the point of listening to these three different speakers is to show how different they are, not only at different price points, but different performance levels for different applications. And so the KM, which has been, again, a staple for many years, is a great sounding speaker at a great price point. When you switch from that to the new MS series, the difference is dramatic. The bass response is much more solid and deeper. It's also louder, more sensitive, more efficient. But the tweeter is where it really shines, the smoothness, the detail. It's almost like you're going from, I don't want to disparage it, but it's almost like going from a factory speaker to an aftermarket premium speaker. It's that big a difference.
Yeah.
And it's within our own line.
So, I mean, the KM speaker already sounds really good on its own. And then with this guy side by side, like one of the things that I noticed personally when I was listening to it, a lot of the things that people talk about when they're listening to really high SQ sound systems is like the ambience in the sound. You can kind of hear the room, hear like the breath in the singer's voice and stuff. These speakers do a really good job of highlighting that.